We talk about how, like, perpetually damp that grade is. They're just always moist, right? Like, there's a stickiness that comes with teaching smaller kids.
How to survive the classroom.
Hey, teacher besties, welcome to How to Survive the Classroom. My mental status, I should probably say up top, is it's like a fruit salad of chaos happening in my soul and in my brain at the moment. So I just need you guys to like gear up, just get ready because it has been a heck of a week. I am in the middle of a move, and every time I talk about the fact that I am in the middle of a move, everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, are you leaving Indiana?" No, I'm not leaving Indiana. In fact, I'm not even leaving Terre Haute. I'm moving, I believe it's like 3 miles from one location. It's so close that when we were applying for our mortgage, the mortgage lender asked why we're moving if it's so close, and I was like, "Wait, what?" Like, do people only move houses if they're, like, leaving like, we didn't tell them we were changing jobs or anything like that. We're like, Because we all share one shower right now, and we would very much like to not share one shower right now." And they were really baffled by that, and I'm like, "Okay, well, you know what? Just give me a loan." And they did, thankfully. So this week, we have, in fact, been moving, and then before the move as I'm recording this right now, I know you guys get it on Mondays. I'm recording this on a Friday. We moved on Monday, and I didn't get back from California from visiting family, doing shows, all of that kind of stuff until Friday. So we had like those 3 days to finish packing and get everything ready. Ooh, it's been a heck of a week. Like, every day this week, I've hit the couch at the end of the day, and, like, every part of my body hurts. Like, it just hurts so bad because 'cause I'm getting the old house ready for sale and the new house, trying to unpack everything, and, of course, my husband is still working very, very long days, so he helps as he can, but he doesn't get home till, like, 6 or 7, so it's been a week, my friends. It has been a week, but I have to tell you, on Tuesday, I took a break from all of these important things, and I had my meeting with a bunch of superintendents. So, it was really fun. So, at the university that I work at, Indiana State, there is a educational leadership program. And as part of this, several of the professors try and work to support existing superintendents, existing administrators, all of that. And there is a superintendent program that they do every summer. And so it's kind of spread out. Some of it's online, some of it's in person. And the professor that runs it, he asked me to come and chat with all of these superintendents or aspiring superintendents, and essentially give them an honest take about what teachers want to say and are too afraid to say to these people. And I was like, "Put me in, coach." Like, let me get in there. Let me get in there. And I really wanted them to hear me, and so I was not overly critical. I did start off by being like, "Guys, thank you so much for having me." I gave a little intro about myself, told them that I do comedy and I do, keynotes and stuff like that. And I was like, "I do have to tell you that, like, superintendents do tend to be the butt of many of my jokes. And I'm sorry about that, but like we're supposed to punch up, and that's like, like, that's the uppiest up you can punch at, really." And they did not love that, but I think I won them over by the end. I did ask all of my followers on Instagram. I asked everybody to share with me, if you were going to talk to a bunch of superintendents, what do you think they need to know? And what ideas do you have to basically help them do their jobs better? And of course, I got like the requisite many, many comments about people being like, "Nobody needs you," and stuff like that. But one of the things that I thought was a really good piece of guidance was somebody submitted that when a pro football team is performing poorly, you don't go and fire all the players, you go and fire the coach. And I thought that hit pretty hard. I did share that with them, but and it's true. Like, if you're noticing that a school is not doing super well, is the answer to go back and fire all of the teachers, or is it to address the leadership at that school or at that district? A couple of other things that people submitted to me, and I did say that to them. But a couple of other things were things like if you see a bunch of teachers leaving all at once, that's an administration problem. Like that's not the teachers just all being a bunch of malcontents. Like that's the teachers. That's the administrator. That's the leadership team. Something is amiss there, and you need to figure it out because if the teachers are just turning over constantly, the administration, it's them. It's them. So I had that one. Another idea that I gave them, that they actually kinda seemed to hang on to was if you are going to run professional development, number 1, you should be differentiating for your teachers because a first-year teacher needs something very different from a 20-year teacher and vice versa, and they were like, that would be really time-consuming, I'm not sure that that's realistic." And I was like, "Oh, but we are in fact requiring teachers to differentiate for every single student in every single class." But it's too hard for you to differentiate for your one professional development day a year. Do you hear yourself? Like, do you and so I think they heard me a little bit and they're like, "Well, what would that even look like?" And I told them at the beginning, I was like, "Guys, I am talking purely from a teacher perspective. Like, I have never been in administration in any way, shape, or form. So I might give you advice or I might be sharing a perspective with you that isn't gonna resonate because maybe you can't because it's, like, illegal or you can't because of funding, something wouldn't work or whatever, you know? I'm like, "Just tell me. It's totally fair, but I am just sharing with you from a teacher's perspective, like, differentiate. Don't just come in and say, 'Hey, do this.'" And they're like, "Well, it doesn't matter how much we differentiate, people are gonna be upset." And I'm like, "For sure." I was like, what you could do and what I've seen really to be really effective is you could say, "Hey, guys, here are these 4 sessions. Pick 2 that you wanna go to, or if you have a teacher that needs something specific, tell them they have to go to that one. And then the rest and then, like, pick 2, and then the other 2, go and work in your rooms." Like, give them choice, just like we do with our students, just like we expect our teachers to give choice and autonomy and respect. Like, hello? Like, why are we expecting the teachers to do something that administrators are simply unwilling to do? Like, that should be a priority, right? Is like good professional development that is going to be valuable. And the other thing that I shared with them that they seem to resonate with was I was like, okay, listen, like, not that I would not love to come and speak in your district, because obviously I would. And I would love for you to give me buckets of money to do so. However, the most valuable thing for most schools in most districts is to find out what teachers are being really, really successful at whatever it is. Take that lump of money that you have for professional development that you're currently paying random professors like me to come in and talk for a day. Give that money to your instructors at your school to run professional development. I guarantee you that level of respect, number 1, for their time and the financial aspect of being like, "Hey, here's some money to run professional development," not an unfunded other jobs as assigned type of thing. You have that funding, Title II funding, which I had never heard of before I did this with the superintendents. I was like, "What is Title II funding?" That's the chunk of money they have for professional development. Now, it's not a huge amount, but it's there. Um, and that was one of the big things that I was like, "Listen, like, use that funding." And so some of the feedback was like, "Oh, we might have to rewrite how that grant looks and all of that," because a lot of times it'll say, like, "Bring in university people, bring in whoever." And I'm like, "No, like, talk to the teachers that you have and bring in and compensate those teachers. Because what a cool thing." And then as people see that happen, they're going to be like, "Oh, I have this great idea. Could I potentially present?" And the final thing that I'm going to share with you guys was that they basically what I heard from a lot of people is that if you have a subject you teach, like family consumer science, or you're teaching a shop class or like whatever it is that you're doing, but you're the only teacher that teaches that thing, it's not really helpful to have a professional learning community at your school because you're not going to have anyone else to collaborate with. And so they said, some of the professional development funding could be used for going to conferences and stuff so that they could build the community there. I did get some pushback with that because financially, it's very hard to send a group of like 8 teachers. It becomes very, very expensive and could potentially eat up your entire professional development funding for the year, especially here in Indiana, because in Indiana, you're flying somewhere almost always. It's very rarely that you can get a conference that is specific to a subject that is within this state. So you're talking sending like 8 teachers to San Diego for a week or whatever. Like that gets really pricey. So it went really well. It was really fun. I told a couple of like my stand-up bits and stuff like that, but mostly I wanted them to hear from teachers and what teachers kind of feel that should be prioritized, and I think they heard me. So, I don't know, I fixed education this week, so you're welcome. But what I really wanna get to and have been so excited about hearing is the voice memos that you guys submitted. So, let's go ahead and listen to the first one.
The most insane thing for me in my elementary classroom would definitely be when we were at recess and a student asked to go inside to go to the bathroom and said, sure, gave him my keys, as I always do. He went inside the school, came back out, and handed me my keys. I grabbed the lanyard and said, oh, they're wet. I mean, because, natural instinct, you might tell your teacher that the lanyard's wet before he hands them over. And so I asked, why is it wet? As I'm holding it in my hand, he said, oh yeah, I dropped it in the toilet, but I got it out.
Mm,
So needless to say, that lanyard did not survive beyond that moment. And I may have ultra sanitized my hands following.
that is so gross. Oh my gosh. That is one of the things I immediately say whenever I'm at my shows and I'm asking like, "Oh, who are the elementary teachers like?" is we talk about how, like, perpetually damp that grade is. They're just always moist, right? Like there's a stickiness that comes with teaching smaller kids. Like I have, my kids are now 5 and 7 and they're the best. But they're always for some reason a little bit wet. Like my son, I feel like just hit that stage where he stopped having the perpetual nose run because I think that for the first 3 years of my children's lives, they were not free of some kind of, like, congestion, cough, all of that, like, actually, my son had his, like, before kindergarten doctor's appointment yesterday, and she was talking to him, and she's like, "Oh, does your tummy hurt? Does your nose hurt? Do your ears hurt?" And I kid you not, that might be the first time that he's like, "No, I'm great." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing." Like, he's not sick for the first time, what feels like ever, because my poor baby boy, he's had to have tubes in his ears. He, has had all sorts of congestion issues ever since he was really little. And so, like, hitting that stage now where it's like, "Oh, you're not leaking from your face perpetually," it just feels like a really big parenting moment. Yeah, that's another reason I couldn't do elementary, like, because that's so gross. Like, I feel like high schoolers would do that either on purpose or, they would at least, like, wrap it in paper towels or something before handing it back, I would guess. It is interesting, though, because I do notice that COVID kids see germs a little bit differently. Like, my daughter, like I said, she's 7 now, and so she was, like, a toddler during COVID, um, and she is so much more of a germaphobe than I am. It's so fascinating, like, after petting animals especially, I've noticed, which is so funny because we've never, like, emphasized I mean, you should, right? Like, wash your hands, that's great. But we were over at a friend's house when we were visiting California, and she pet their dog. It was this really, like, sweet golden retriever puppy and all of that, and, like, then as soon as she was done, she's like, "Okay, I need to wash my hands. Do you have sanitizer?" Which, like, it's so that's so, like, cross the country. Kids don't know how to say hand sanitizer, so they just squish them together. Hanitizer is, like, the common way, and it's so funny. I wanna hear from you guys, like, if you've noticed with your kids that the ones that are, like, in that stage of, like, figuring out how to navigate the world, if they were in that stage really, like, between ages of, like, 2 and 6 during COVID, are they more germ aware than other kids that you may have or that you've seen? Or maybe if you're, like, a kindergarten, 1st grade teacher, maybe you're seeing it in the class as well. And I think we all kind of became a little bit more aware of germs. I remember during the pandemic especially, I would see people like, I would watch a video where people would, like, share drinks or something, and I'm like, "Oh, that was before the pandemic for sure." And I think that slowly we're kind of going back to pre-pandemic normalcy when it comes to stuff like that, which I think is fascinating that it took about 5 years from, like, the height before we were like, "No, it's fine. You can drink out of my drink." Like, man, it's crazy. Although I don't know that there's ever going to be a time that I would be completely comfortable with having a child bring back anything damp. It doesn't have to be keys after going to the bathroom. Like, if a child hands me something and it is moist, don't. Don't. It's so gross. It's just disgusting, and, like, even when my kids do that kinda stuff, I'm like, "Why is this wet?" And they're like, "Oh." My sister actually just told me that she was outside, she was, like, doing yoga. She's pregnant right now, and so she's been really good about stretching, and she wanted to be in the sun and all of that, and her two-and-a-half-year-old came over with, like, a little sponge, and it was kinda damp, and she'd been playing with something inside, and so she figured she was just, like, dipping it in her cup of water, and she said that while she was, like, doing her stretches, her daughter was, like, taking the sponge and, like, pushing it all over her face, and she's like, "Oh, that feels so nice, thanks." And then she opened her eyes as her daughter, like, put it in her mouth and then put it back all over her face, and her daughter was sick too. Like, so and, like, my sister was sick when we hung out, and I was just like, "Oh, oh, no." And my sister's been on the podcast before. She's got her Instagram, Host in Your Home, and all of that. So you guys maybe, remember her, but it was so funny because it's just one of those typical things where she's like, "Oh, that's so lovely," and then she realized that she's literally her daughter's just, like, wiping spit all over her face. It's kids are gross. Kids are so gross. All right, let's go ahead and listen to the second voice memo that you sent in.
Okay, so this wasn't me, but at the high school that I attended, we had a teacher who was not letting students leave the classroom for whatever reason at that time. And one of the boys kept saying that he had to use the bathroom and she wouldn't let him go. So he waited until she had turned around to work out a math problem. She was our AP calculus teacher, and she would have to be turned around for a hot minute to do work on the board. And he pulled out a disposable water bottle and peed into that in the back of the classroom with the rest of us watching. Because, priorities.
Um, so I wish there was more shared in that story. Like, did the teacher hear the pee hitting the water bottle and, like, turn I I'm trying to imagine that moment because I've had students threaten that. They're like, "I'll just pee in this bottle." And I'm like, "No, you will not." And most kids are too, like, self-conscious to, like, whip it out to pee in a bottle, and I guess you could probably just turn away and do it. Um, I've been because I've been doing all of my housework and stuff, I've been watching a lot of The Office, and there's that episode where Dwight pees in a can because 'cause they're on their way to, like, go to I think it's Utica or something. That's big Dwight energy to be like, "You're not gonna let me pee? That's fine." I do wanna ask you guys, as far as letting students go to the bathroom, where do you draw the line when you have a student who notoriously goes out and spends insane amounts of time in the bathroom? Because number 1, I've heard a lot of people every single time I ask a question similar to that or talk about bathroom rules with students online and stuff, people get really upset. There's nothing that makes people angrier than a bathroom policy because we all know that, like, no, like, if it's an emergency, you should go, right? Like, I don't know of any teacher except for maybe this one who just has, like, a power trip of, like, "No, you're gonna be in this classroom, and you just have to sit there in pain." Like, I never in all of my time teaching, I don't think I ever had a student that, like, genuinely was like, "I really have to go," and I'd be like, "Alright, go." But I know some people that are like, "Why are you even policing kids' bathroom habits to begin with?" And here's the thing, we're not. Like, we're not policing kids' bathroom habits. The reason that we're doing that, like, trying to figure out who's out, who's not out, is number 1, they're all either hooking up, fighting, or doing drugs in the bathroom, I would say half the time, right? And the other half, they legitimately have to go to the bathroom. But a lot of times, like, it makes us look really bad if if we have, like, little Sally says, "I have to go to the bathroom." And you say, "Okay," and every time you send her to the bathroom, she meets up with her friend and they go jump a girl outside of the bathroom stall. Like, that's hello, like, that makes us look really bad and also unsafe, right? We don't want Sally jumping people. And so that was a problem we had for a while, and it kinda got tamped down a little bit when cell phones were like, the cell phone rules have kind of come down a little bit harder. We still have issues, or at least last I was in the classroom, still had issues sometimes, but if phones were put away, it was really hard for kids to coordinate jumping people during class time. Also, they want an audience most of the time. If they're gonna jump people, they usually try and do it, like, before and after school because they want to have the audience and the people watching when they fight. So I think that that has maybe been for me was always part of it, is I was worried about the safety of my students, worried about the safety of other students, worried about the like, it's also super upsetting when a student comes back and it's so clear that they just smoked a joint. Like, you're like, "Oh, great. Well, I'm glad you needed that to get through the rest of today." Or you have the students who are failing and are like, will just wander, right? They'll just go visit someone else's class. They'll wander. They won't turn anything in. And then they come back and are like, okay, what I miss? And then you have to stop. It's very frustrating. So I think from a teacher's perspective, like, I'm never trying to stop someone from going to the bathroom. I'm almost always, if I'm like, hey, not right now, it's either I'm about to be done talking about whatever I'm talking about, or that kid has a history and I'm suspicious, right? Like, that kid has proved to me they cannot be trusted. So I'm very curious if you guys can share with me what your bathroom policies are, because I do think that that varies probably number one, grade that you're teaching, because I know elementary schools are probably doing things way differently than high school. Um, but like, what has been something that works really well for you with managing the bathroom, leaving and coming back and all of that kind of stuff? Because I there were times I fear that I had a student leave to go to the bathroom and I would be like, "Oh, like, yeah, go for it." And then I would forget that they were gone. And then the office would be like, "Hey, can you send Sally down?" And I'm like, "Sally? Where did Sally go? How long has Sally been gone?" Like 30 minutes. And then I'm like, "Oh, oops." So I know for some people, they like have them write the time on like a whiteboard or something like that. I don't know. I'm just curious what you guys are doing to help keep the kids from, smoking weed in the bathroom or jumping each other. Cause it's just, the battle that we all fight. So, speaking of getting the right tools for the battles that we all fight, I have an amazing resource for you, and I'm going to share it with you when we get back right after this. Welcome back, teacher besties. All right, so this is a tool that I have been told about by a bunch of people, and it's quizzes. So Quizzizz. And this is a free resource that has a bunch of different options on there. So it's got assessments, it's got lessons prepped for you, it's got interactive videos, and I think that resources like this in particular are super helpful for when we know that we're going to be out or we're trying to prep for a day that we are gonna need a sub. And so it has a ton of stuff, like, it's got Spanish vocab quizzes, which, by the way, guys, I told you about my Spanish. I have been practicing. I think I'm on day 18 or 19. So I hope you're all very proud of me because I really have every single day, even with the move, even with everything else, I've been practicing my Spanish. And I really need to now because my sister's two daughters, they are in an immersion program at their school. So they're going to be bilingual. So I've got to be able to speak Spanish so that way I can make sure they're not talking smack. I'm just kidding. They would never because I'm obviously their favorite aunt. So this thing has like a huge amount of different grammar activities, assessments, lessons, and then it allows you to create quizzes using AI. So you upload the passage and then you say, "Okay, great. Tell me what the like, or create a quiz with this passage." And then it has a bunch of options that are already uploaded for you. So I'm looking at the page right now, and I have it set that I'm a high school teacher in Indiana. um, and so I'm looking at it, it says, like, for fiction, there's 122 activities, and I could look under the memoir section, And then it pops up with a bunch of different passages. And then it's got questions, word lists. It has a listen option. So it will read it to me. So again, like this is, and it also has like all of the state standards that are associated with what is going to be met by using this passage. It also has the Lexile level. So it has a bunch of different things that like immediately were very findable and easy that you could then use to assign because it also links with learning management systems like Google Classroom and all of that kind of stuff. So it's really, really cool. And it's free. We love free. Something else I wanted to share with you guys, because I know we've talked a little bit about AI and all of that. Like since doing my move in, I've been using ChatGPT for different things than I used to. So, for example, one of the things I did, I'm trying to change out the shower head in the master bath at my new house. And I took a picture of it and I submitted it to ChatGPT and I asked it how to remove it. And it gave me step by step instructions. I also took a picture of one of the doors in our house and asked why it was sticking. And then it told me which things to take pictures of. And then it told me how I could fix it. So, if you're somebody who likes to do DIY and you don't mind like going through and having to do the reading and trial and error because also we don't know if it's right. Like it is really interesting trying to do DIY because there's YouTube out there obviously and then there's also now ChatGPT that will almost diagnose it for you. Which I think was really interesting. I told my husband I was like, "So if I have a suspicious mole, can I just submit a picture of it to ChatGPT and have it diagnose me?" And my husband, because he, of course, went to PA school, he's like, "No, of course not." And I was like, "I bet I could. I bet I will replace you with ChatGPT." And he's like, "Well, it can't diagnose, can it?" It's like, "No, but it probably could tell me how to, get some stuff imported from other countries if I needed to." But don't do crimes. I'm not encouraging crimes or criminal activities whatsoever, but I am encouraging you guys to use AI to the best of your ability. And now you can submit pictures and it can do stuff like that. So, um, but so now I gave you two. What a twofer. You're welcome for that. Um, Man, it's got a lot of different Spanish ones on this quizzes thing. And I have to tell you guys, I was telling my mom, I was bragging about the fact yo hablo español. And she kind of started laughing and she's like, "Well, hopefully your kids aren't going to make fun of you." And she was referencing the fact that when I lived in Germany for a year. Okay. I moved over there after I graduated high school. My mom had a former exchange student who lived with her family. I went and lived with him and his kids and his family for a year. Just took a gap year, lived in Germany, worked for him at his like law office there, um, and somewhat tried to learn German. I wasn't very motivated. Um, and my mom came over to visit me and when she did, she was like, "Oh, yeah, like, I've been practicing my German." And I responded with so much disdain at her efforts to speak German. And I could not tell you now as an adult why I was so annoyed by her trying to speak German. She told me this when I was out there. She's like, "Yeah, I'd been practicing for like 3 months trying to get my German stronger." And every time my mom even tried, I was like, "Ugh, mom, you're embarrassing me." Like, what is wrong with me? Like, I don't know why her efforts to try and speak German and communicate, like, I was just disdain. Disdain is the only way I can describe the way I reacted to her for no reason. Like, what a freaking punk I was. And I hate that about the way that I could be can be sometimes where it's like the more that she was, like, trying to do something cool, the more I was like, "That's so embarrassing." Like, what? Why are teenagers the way that they are? Because I was still a teenager. I was 18. But still, that's legally an adult. That's crazy behavior. So, kids are the worst, but eventually they turn into adults and can be equally horrified by their own behavior. So I guess we do all have that to look forward to in the future. Speaking of things I'm looking forward to, I have more shows coming up. I'm very excited. I've got Teachers Lounge shows and I have shows where I'm doing some solo stuff. I'm trying to keep my travel to only 1 week in a month, which is why you guys are only going to really be seeing me at the Teachers Lounge shows once a month, and then an occasional show that is a drivable distance from my home on a Saturday. So I do have a bunch of shows. I know we're going to be I do have an Indianapolis show for my local friends. I've got a St. Louis show. I've got a bunch of other ones that are coming up for Teachers Lounge. We're going to be in Irvine. We're going to be in Arizona. We're going to be all over the place. So if you want to check out all of those, you can go to either teachersloungelive.com for the Teachers Lounge shows or educatorandrea.com/tickets will be where all of my shows are, because I do have a couple sprinkled in there that are not Teachers Lounge shows. But I am so excited about getting to hang out with you guys and see you in person. I had the best time when I was in California. I performed, and at that show, a bunch of people who have actually been on the podcast were there. There was like, everyone who lives in that area who has been on the podcast was at my show at Mic Drop in San Diego. So Lauren Chella, who's the Gen Z history teacher, and all of my teacher friends who you guys have heard from, and and Andy Miller, who's like the sticker teacher, and all of these incredible people. And then also people that I've known since I was really little. Someone, a good friend of mine who I've known since I was 4 years old came, and a former student came. And it was absolutely incredible to get to perform in front of so many people that have seen me in different stages of my life and have supported me through all of them. It was really cool too, because Denver came to my Indianapolis show when I did Teachers Lounge, and then she also came to the show in San Diego. So she got to see kind of like the way that my set has developed over the past couple of months. So I'm filled with gratefulness that I get to do that I get to spend that time. And that's because of you guys. It's because you guys are here and you're hanging out with me, and you're helping me give voice to a lot of the experiences of teachers. And I do not take that for granted. So if I am coming to your area, I hope I get to see you. I hope that we get to hang out. And always with the Teachers Lounge shows and when I'm doing solo shows, I will always stay after and do a meet and greet and say hi to everyone who wants to say hi. And thank you guys for coming individually, because I know how chaotic life is, and I know that money gets tight and all of that. And the fact you chose to spend that time is really meaningful to me. Or if you just want to get in contact and you want to share either a story of something that has happened in your classroom or when you were in a classroom as a student, you can submit it online on our website, podcasterandrea.com. There's a little button that says voicemails, so you can submit yours, and you should. You should do that. Or if you want to email us, andrea@human-content.com, or you can contact me at Educator Andrea on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook and all those places. And you can hang out with the whole Human Content Podcast family at Human Content Pods. And thank you so much for the listeners who have left amazing reviews. And if you haven't done it yet, come on. Just literally do it right now, please. Sorry, that was aggressive. If you could do that, I would really personally appreciate it. That would make me really happy. And if you want to check out the YouTube episodes, they are up every week on YouTube, because why would they put it somewhere else if it's a YouTube episode? That just doesn't even make any sense. I don't know why you thought that. Thank you so much for listening. I am your host, Andrea Forkham. Our executive producers are Andrea Forkham, Aaron Corney, Rob Goldman, and Shanti Brook. Our editor is Andrew Sims. Our engineer is Jason Portizo. Our music is by Omer Benzvi. Our recording location is the Indiana State By College of Education. To learn more about How to Survive the Classroom's program, disclaimer, and ethics policy and submission, verification, and licensing terms, you can go to podcasterandrea.com. How to Survive the Classroom is a human content production.
How to survive the classroom.
Thank you so much for watching. Want more of How to Survive the Classroom? You can watch more episodes right now. Just click on that little box over there. You see it? And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Okay, bye.